Okay, I have had to move my setup because it just started raining a little tiny bit and then it stopped again, but I don't want to have to move midstream. So there we go. Okay. I think this is how we're going to do it. I have. Where did I put the lists? I had the lists. I have my laptop in front of me, and I have a large awning to protect me from the rain. So I think this is going to be the setup now. We didn't get a lot of rain, just a little bit. I have to go find where I put the lists. The lists were exactly where you'd expect them to be, in the kitchen. So we have, well, geez, it's almost 7. Okay, well, what else do I need? What else do I need? I got a beverage, although I'll need a second beverage because this one's warm and almost empty. What else do I need? What else do I need? Selfie light, if necessary. Oh, sure, I show up and Mike disappears, says Rob. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. What else do I need? Oh, okay. One other thing. I have just completed another video. I'm going to upload it right now. I realize this means that, you can't necessarily watch this live stream and the video at the same time, but it's 99%. Shit. Just did something wrong here. 99% saved in Windows Movie Maker. It's just, there we go. It's saved. It's just some underwater video footage done to the tune of Max the Axe, of course.
Time has come to learn me, baby. Change you never could. Why must you always test my will? If I told you once, I told you over and over. Over and over. Over and over.
But it's really nice. And here's something interesting, and I've mentioned this many, many times in the past. The water levels here fluctuate. And when we were younger, the water levels were so low that all of these rocks that you see in this video that I'm uploading now were above water. Catherine and I used to take our rubber dinghy out to the rocks, and we would put the schnauzers out on the rocks. We would physically strand the schnauzers on the rocks. Swear to God, we did this. Rob, you could if you used OBS. I am interested in using OBS. I am. I'm a bit of a Luddite when it comes to technology, though. I have a real hard time adapting to new technology, as this live stream has demonstrated over and over and over again. I'm going to start inviting people here. Deke, Harrison, Chris Sarr, Scott Carson, John T. Snow. I can't do the unboxing until John T. Snow shows up. Frankie Toms, got to get you invited. Good old Frankie Toms. Love Frankie Toms. He's such a nice guy. Frankie Toms is literally the nicest guy in the world. Like, we don't know a lot about Frank Toms. He's a very mysterious man. Nobody's even sure if that's actually his real name, but it might be. Hey, John T. Snow is watching. John T. Snow is watching. That's awesome. Okay, well, I was wanting John T. Snow because the other day my wife said, "Did you check the mail?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Oh, you have a parcel from someone named Snow." And here it is. What could it be? We're going to find out tonight. John Snow runs tooloudtooldmusic.com. He is a great guy that is a mad David Coverdale fan and Kiss fan. He just finished. Hey, Gary Molinar. We're just waiting for Eric Litwiller to show up. What was I saying? Too Loud, Too Old Music. He just finished a David Coverdale series of reviews, basically everything of David Coverdale's, which sort of tangentially relates to what's in this box. And he is currently in his, I believe, 6th review of his current comprehensive 50 CD Kiss review series. Whew, that was a mouthful. He is on Destroyer right now. So very interesting time in the Kiss timeline. Mark Snow, the composer of the X-Files. No, Rob, no, this is Jon Snow. Jon Snow. And he knows more than nothing. Trust me on this. What was I saying? Okay, so waiting on the arrival of Super Deeks. Waiting on the arrival of Uncle Meat. Oh, Super Deeks is here. Well, shit. All right, let's invite him on screen. Swiss Army knife ready to unbox this mystery parcel from Jon Snow. Connect.
Hey, man.
There he is.
How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Good, pal.
I just got out of the lake. Literally just got out of the lake.
Nice, nice.
Well, you're
How
just
hot
in
is it?
time. We have Jon Snow with us, and we have a box.
The unboxing.
Do you have any guesses as to what's in here, or did I tell you?
You told me, so I'm not going to blow the whistle on that
Okay.
one.
Okay. If you didn't know, just play with me here. If you didn't know what was in this box, what would you guess is in it?
Me?
Yeah.
Or are you asking the fan base out there?
I'm asking Super Deeks. We have Dar in the house as well.
Dar, that a boy. Yeah, he's waiting for the show to get going. I would think it would be a Kiss-related thing.
Yeah, he's a mad Kiss fan. I was just talking about his site and his Kiss review series.
Or
Just before we
Whitesnake.
arrived.
Or
Sorry?
Whitesnake. Or Whitesnake.
Which tangentially relates to.
There we go. Nice.
That's
awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Sure, man.
He messaged me maybe 2 weeks ago saying that his local, not his local, but a record store that he was going to
Mhm.
had this in stock, and did I want it? Because I hadn't been able to acquire it yet. And I
Okay.
said, yes, please, absolutely. Let me know what it costs to send it to me. I'll PayPal you. I will do an e-transfer, whatever you want. And I
Mhm.
was kind of pestering him a little bit, like, hey, John, you haven't told me you haven't told me how to pay for this. And I kind of let it go because I don't like pestering people. But on the
Right.
back, it says happy birthday,
Nice.
John.
Jon
No,
Snow.
I am so glad I unboxed this live because that's I thank you, John. Thank you. The tracks are Throw My Bones, The Power of the Moon, and Man Alive. I believe Power of the Moon is exclusive to the single.
Nice. So are those 3 tracks from the upcoming album?
All except for the Moon one.
Ah, nice.
Ah, my mom's watching. Hi, Mom.
Water those plants, Mikey.
She already reminded me once.
That's awesome.
So tonight we are doing the second Nigel Tufnell Top 10 live albums of all time.
Yep.
And we have determined by that what we mean is we're going to go from number 12 to 22 on our respective lists.
Okay.
And we're going to count down from 12 because, you know, it's like a Billboard chart now. We're just going to keep counting them down.
Okay.
And you're going to count off a bunch of your buddies.
Mhm.
I'm going to count off a bunch of other people.
Yep.
And then you and I are going to do rounds at the end like we normally do.
And it might be able for everybody watching at home, might be a little easier for everybody to keep score. Especially
Actually, you know what? If Jeff Steven were watching, I would ask him to make a graph. And it's like how many times Kiss Alive 2, how many times Iron Maiden, Made in Japan, or whatever. You know, it's raining, by the way. I don't know if that's audible or visible, but it is raining now. I am under a large awning, so I don't have to move unless it gets windy.
Cool. Braving the elements there, Mike Ladano.
I was worried, you know, thunderstorms were rolling in, but we got an excellent backdrop. Couldn't ask for a better backdrop today.
Cool. Well, let's get the show rolling.
Sounds good. I will put my list aside.
Okay.
Because we'll save that for the end. Okay, so do you want to start with one of your guys and then I do one of my guys? How do you want to do this?
How about I do the 3 Erickson brothers right off the hop?
Okay.
And I'll keep going. And if you want to stop me. And if not, I'll just keep rolling them out because I have to apologize to T-Bone, Dar, and Rug. We actually got Rug's list on here, which is real cool. So earlier in the week when I sent them, and I sent them, all 3 of them, and T-Bone and Dar got back to me and they said, dude, we don't know if we can even name 24 live albums. So I said to them, okay, fair enough. I dropped the ball the first week when we did this. I should have had their lists, their top 11 lists the first week. So what they've sent me, and this is why I want to do it early, Mikey, is they sent me 3 lists of their top 11 live albums, and that's it. So We're kind of going back 2 weeks ago with their list because Doofus here forgot to include them. Duh. So I'm going to start off with T-Bone's top 11. So should I go 11 up or 1 through 11?
For the top 11s, let's go 11 down to 1.
Okay, so 11 down to 1 on T-Bone's is number 11 is Kiss Alive 2.
That was on
number
my
10,
list.
Yep. Number 10 is Kiss Alive. Number 9 is Zepp, Song Remains the Same. Number 8 is Scorpions, Worldwide Live.
That was on a lot of lists last time.
Yeah. Number 8 is Cheap Trick, The Budokan. Number 7 is All the World's a Stage. Number 6 is Made in Japan.
That was on your list.
Yep. Number 5 is Unleashed in the East.
That was on a lot of lists.
And number 3 is AC/DC, If You Want Blood. You got it. Number 2 is Exit Stage Left. And number 1 is, do you know it, Mikey?
T-Bone. His number 1.
What's my number 1 live album? of all time.
Live bootleg, Aerosmith.
Boom! That's T-Bone's all-time top 11. So he just basically said, this is pretty much my top 10 live albums, 1 through 11. I don't even know if I have a complete 12 to 22, laugh out loud. Never owned a ton of live stuff. But he did say the very first 2 live albums that I ever bought were Exit Stage Left and Made in Japan. So there you go. So there's his list. So now we're on to Dar.
I'm just going to pause you. Okay, so I just want to say hi to Paul McIntosh, next door neighbor. He's watching. And nice. Kevin Sinister says that Kashmir on The Song Remains the Same is phenomenal. Okay,
there we go. So Dar's list, number 11 is Kiss Alive. Number 10 is Nirvana Unplugged. Number 9 is the Beatles Live at the Hollywood Bowl.
Pause. I like that pick because it's so unconventional. Totally. That is not considered. It's not considered a great album because of the insane amount of crowd noise.
Yeah, and a ton of screaming.
I'm on the TV next door.
That's cool.
Okay.
Must see TV. Number 8 is the Scorpions Worldwide Live. Number 7 is Rush with Rush in Rio. Number 6 is Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo. Number 5 is Van Halen, Right Here, Right Now. Hey, he picked their 5. I'm sure he'll comment when he sees your facial reaction. Well, there we go. That was my favorite part of it, he says. Number 4 is Tragically Hip, Live Between Us.
Yep.
Number 3, U2, Rattle and Hum.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
And us being the 2 older guys, and Dar knowing us forever and a day, of course, one is his brother. His number 2 is Live Bootleg. And his number 1 is Rush Exit Stage Left.
Fantastic. A couple, I'm not so sure about that Van Halen, but fantastic list.
Well, yeah, and I agree. The Van Halen one is like, wow, but you know what? Teach their own, and he hears it differently, and he enjoys it. So, like that's what these lists are about, right? Like conversation pieces, if anything.
It's not like it's a bad album.
It's just
how many million did it sell?
They dicked around with it too much in the studio. That's the problem with it. But,
according to Hagar, I don't think we ever got anybody else's side of that story either.
Well, they probably don't remember. So that's probably So now we're going to do Ruggies. First time ever appearance.
Yeah.
He is a first timer. He's the youngest of the Erickson brothers. So he's probably about, if my math is right, I think he's 4 or 5 years younger than me and T-Bone. So he's the baby Erickson, so to speak. Yeah. So he's probably 48, I would think. Dar could probably confirm it.
Well, there you go.
You can see on his list where me and T-Bone, he obviously picked up some of our listening habits. But when I got his list, it was pretty cool because there's a lot of stuff on there that he found and discovered on his own. So here we go. His number 11, Dire Straits, Alchemy.
Okay.
Number 10, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Live Rust. Number 9, Eric Clapton, Unplugged. Number 8, Aerosmith, Live Bootleg. Number 7, The Kinks, One for the Road. Number 6, Led Zeppelin, How the West Was Won. Number 5, number 5 is Stevie Ray Vaughan, Live Alive. Number 4, U2, Under a Blood Red Sky.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3, AC/DC, If You Want Blood. Number 2, Rush, Exit Stage Left. And Ruggy's all-time favorite number 1 live album, Wilco, Kicking Television.
I've never heard of that album. But you know who is a huge Wilco fan? Is Mr. Books, Aaron.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So I have to remember. I'm going to remember Ruggy's list and make sure that I point this out to Aaron. I'll say, Aaron, there's a very special number 1 that you'll have to watch.
Later on, I'll copy and paste it and send it to you. and you
Sure.
can forward it to Mr. Books. Yeah. But you know what?
Yeah.
Great quick story. When we went to Montreal 3 years ago, me and T-Bone, and we were cruising the record shops there and trying not to totally empty my bank account on vinyl. T-Bone said, I should pick up a couple of records for Rug's birthday. It was a few months past that. So he was texting Dar back and forth, and he ended up buying him U2 Joshua Tree on vinyl.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the album, but then T-Bone goes, yeah, I wonder if they have Wilco here, which they did. And I said, he listens to Wilco? It's like, hey, man, good on him. He discovered those guys. And T-Bone says, yeah, man, he loves those guys. So when I seen his number one, it didn't surprise me. So, yeah, there's the Erickson Brothers list. Thanks, guys. Sorry I was 2 weeks late, but we got them done. So
Got them done.
now we can start.
My only Wilco story is that several years ago, Aaron and I used to buy birthday and Christmas presents a lot more frequently.
Okay.
I've had to tone down everything, Christmas and birthday wise in the last few years. But back in the day, we used to be a little extravagant, trying to top each other all the time. So one year I went on CD Japan, and I'm like, there's no way Aaron will ever expect me to find a Japanese import of a band that he liked. Because, Japanese imports are my thing, but he has his own sets of bands, But I found one for Wilco with like exclusive album art or whatever, and I sent that to him for Christmas one year as a surprise. So that's my only really Wilco related story. Eric Litwiller. Eric Litwiller asks, does everybody in Thunder Bay get together and drink whiskey and fight each other while listening to Aerosmith live bootleg?
I can speak that the Erickson brothers do probably get into the whiskey and fight each other, but I don't think it's over live bootleg. They find other things to brawl about. That'd be a whole episode in itself to get Dar on here and talk about the brawling stories.
Well, I'm going to flip over to the laptop, and I'm going to read a list.
Sure.
I'm not okay. He might have given me too many albums here, okay, never mind. Okay. So when we did this a few weeks ago, obviously you missed a few lists. Harrison didn't put in a list, and Holland didn't put in a list.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison is going to publish his list on his website rather than running through it here.
Okay.
So everybody, when he is posting that, you'll want to go to the Mad Metal Man, and I will include the link on my eventual blog post to check out Harrison's top 11. In lieu of that, Harrison has given me his 12 to 22 tonight.
Okay.
But before I go to that, I'm going to do Holland's 11 down to 1 because we didn't get to him last time. So
Sure.
Holland has given me some notes to read, and I'm doing this off my laptop. We'll start here. Holland's number 11 is Jane's Addiction, their self-titled 1987 album. Forgot that this was a live album because it was their debut, so it gets a spot here now. Great song selection, many of which wouldn't turn up later. It's raw, it rocks, and it's itself, uncompromising. I remember standing outside my college at night while it was snowing, listening to this on my headphones. It was right after making an ass of myself to this girl I liked, but hadn't seen in a year and a half. Luckily, I made up for it, and that woman is now my loving wife. Just kidding, this isn't a fairy tale. I talked to her, I told her I was sorry. She said it wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't. I was just awkward in an unintentionally prickly way. I asked her out a few months later, and she turned me down, and we haven't spoken since. That's how the real world works, kids. At least there was no animosity. The track, My Time, is a personal favorite. Not just on the album, but of all songs. There's nothing about it that screams instant classic. It just appeals to me quietly. You can read my pretentious rambling about this album at Mike's site. Okay.
Well done, man. Take a drink.
I couldn't skip this list because he put so much effort into it. Okay, number 10. I like this. Holland went off the beaten track and included comedy albums, something I wish I had done myself but didn't think of. Sam Kinison, Louder Than Hell. His albums
there you go.
His albums got less funny, more insecure, and more bigoted as time went on, but he was genius here. He's sharp, his insights are unforgiving, and there's less fat here than on any of his other offerings. So if you want some Sam Kinison, go with Louder Than Hell.
Is that the one where
Um,
they had all the metal guys playing the songs on the flip side of the tape? I might even had that. I can't
that was a
remember if
different
that's
one.
was it?
That's a
Yeah,
different
okay.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
head of the leader of the pack or something like that,
Yeah,
or
yeah. Because one side was his whole
leader of the band or something.
yeah, leader of the band. I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like his number 9 here. It's a box set. You remember the old Springsteen Triple Live?
Yep.
So he's got Springsteen and the E Street Band 75 to 85 live. He says he's
Good
not
one.
the biggest Springsteen fan, and I've never managed to listen to this 3.5 hour triple CD set start to finish in one sitting. But damn, I do respect it. There's a lot of
Mhm.
great stuff on here, and the packaging is fantastic. A big booklet, great sound, and spirited performances from one of the greatest live acts in rock and roll history. Saluting you, the boss.
That's a good
Number 8.
pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 8, Bob Marley and the Wailers live, which I've never heard. Part of me wishes it was longer, but maybe there's a charm in live albums that don't break 40 minutes. I agree. All killer, no filler, good sound. Number 7, here's another album I've never heard. Accept, Staying Alive. Surprise, surprise, the Germans put out an astounding live release sonically and musically. This version of Balls to the Wall is definitive. I don't know it. I gotta check some of these out.
Hello, CD Japan.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Number 5, his second comedy album on his list. George Carlin, Jammin' in New York. Carlin was the master of delivery. No one could spout so much vulgarity so eloquently at such high velocity without losing any impact. He was magnetic. You hung on to every word. His cynicism is palpable, and as he powers through perhaps his greatest set, something that's saying a lot. A master at the top of his game here. I do not have this George Carlin, but as a general rule of thumb, I buy any used George Carlin CDs I can find.
Mhm.
So it'll eventually end up in my collection.
Nice.
Number 4, Boingo, Alive by Oingo Boingo. Oingo Boingo re-recording favorites while throwing in a few unreleased songs that didn't quite fit the mood of previous albums live in the studio. After departing IRS A&M Records after their third album, they lost the rights to license those songs. This set acted as a way to record new versions for MCA, tinker with arrangements in interesting ways, and showcase their prowess as a live act. Not a greatest hits in the conventional sense. The tagline at the beginning sums it up. Celebration of a decade. The double CD is a thank you to fans, and if you're a newbie looking for a place to start, this is a really good spot. Okay. Number 3, Ozzy and Randy Rhoads, the tribute album. Randy Rhoads was the best man live. No, sorry, Randy Rhoads was the best man.
There we go.
A generous offering of almost everything on the classic first 2 Ozzy releases, with a few Sabbath songs thrown in for good measure. Rhoads is in top form here. It's a shame we didn't get to see where he'd take the guitar next.
Yeah, well
Um,
said.
I
Yep.
will pause here because I read some interesting interviews with various people, like his childhood friend Kelly Garney, who was the bass player in the original Quiet Riot. And
Mhm.
I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of these names from you just reading the Rudy Sarzo book.
Mhm.
Randy really wanted to go back to school and study classical structures. He
Yeah.
probably he probably would have disappeared for a short time. He wanted to study the guitar and bring something new to it using classical as his anchor. So yeah, it would have been interesting to see where Randy would have gone, but I don't think he would have lasted with Ozzy much longer than a third album. Honestly, I really don't.
No, the Sarzo wrote in his book that he had told Ozzy, I guess a few months before he went down in the plane, that he would sign on to do another studio record and a live album, and then he was out. And that was the contract that supposedly they had agreed on. And actually, Sarzo says in his book that the Ozzy live album was supposedly would have been recorded at Maple Leaf Gardens
Wow.
because of the cost, right? So
Interesting.
yeah, because they weren't really. I mean, they were doing well, but obviously, as Ozzy's career progressed through the '80s, he went mega. But you read
Yeah.
Sarzo's book, which is a great read. He says they didn't start off that way. They were playing to half-filled theaters, half-filled arenas. you know. But then once the buzz started getting out there, and of course Ozzy being a lunatic and getting in the press for all the other crazy shit he did, helped
All the
push.
headlines. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's not like when you think of Ozzy now, you think of sellouts, you think of Sabbath and sellouts, and yeah, but it didn't start off easy for him. So it was
I have
actually a
to
great read.
pause. I have to pause. Rob Daniels says something here, and I think I might have been a part of it. I remember getting shit for not knowing who Randy Rhoads was in high school. I think I might have been a part of that. I'm going to apologize to Rob Daniels right now. I may have been a party to that. Rob also didn't even consider live albums. I wish I had thought of it.
Yeah,
Harrison
that's
says,
actually a good one.
yeah. Harrison says, if I'd known we'd be doing 1s and 11s as well here, I could have just said to read mine here. But I'm sorry, buddy. It's been a kind of crazy. I'm not the best organizer in the world. I really hope no recruiters ever see this video. Back to Holland's list. He's got another comedy at number 2. At number 2, he's got a comedy album.
Wow.
Richard Pryor, Live on the Sunset Strip. The greatest comedy album film ever, probably. Pryor channels a sensitivity and seriousness in certain segments that give the whole thing weight, yet his natural hilarity keeps anything from ever sinking the show. His mafia routine is hilarious, as is his closing bit about substance problems and lighting himself on fire. That's true. He actually did light himself on fire.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole show is a classic start to finish. And his number 1 live album of all time, Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies. This
Wow.
would have made the top 3 in my official list, but I forgot about it, and now I'm ashamed. Forgive me. Killer guitar work through this whole set. Hendrix really lets loose throughout the whole thing, but it never loses its fire. Top-notch stuff, boys.
Good list. Good angle with
Yeah,
those comedy records, man. Yeah, that's like that. I mean, I remember I think the biggest comedy record was the Steve Martin ones that came out at the tail. Like, what was the song he did about Egypt there?
King Tut, the Funky Tut.
King Tut, yeah. So, yeah, you know, I think we all heard that. I know I heard it, and it was actually, I think, a gatefold as well. So, yeah, good on him for going outside the box, but keeping it in the box, so to speak.
If I had
Well
thought
played.
of it, if I had thought of this, and I'm probably going to get shit from Eric Litwiller for this, but I would have picked Jerry Seinfeld's live album. I really like Jerry Seinfeld's live album. The name escaped me. It's clean humor, you know, it's Seinfeld, but there's a couple of bits in it that really resonated with me because I thought I'm attracted to absurd things in life, absurd comedy. And he mentioned a couple of things that really rung a bell with me on his live album. One of which was, why do skydivers wear helmets? Because if you hit the ground, the helmet is wearing you. And then the other thing was the guy who has the mattress on the top of his car tied down with twine, and he's got the arm out the window holding the mattress down. Like, what is the arm doing?
Yeah. Hoping for the best. That's what it's doing. Yeah.
So those are two of the things that I remember from the Seinfeld live album that I really, really enjoyed. I'm going to read Harrison's 11 to 22 list now.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that he chimes in with some commentary on one of these. His number 12 is Various Artists, the Sunflower Super Jam. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's some kind of his awesome 70s classic rock jam. Number 13, Roger Waters, The Wall.
Ooh,
the live one. It's The Wall and it's live. What more do you need? David Gilmour? Actually, yeah, probably. That's what he says. Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads tribute. We've talked about that now extensively. Yeah. Here's a surprise. Pat Benatar, number 15, live from Earth. Whoa. If you own all the Benatar you need, save one. Oh, sorry. If you own this, you own all the Benatar you need, save one song. I wonder what that one song is. Here's Harrison going off the beaten track. Paul Di'Anno, The Beast Live, number 16. Archive live recordings from his post-Maiden career. 9 Maiden covers and 1 Skyhooks cover. It's all covers! The performance is heavy and aggressive to the max. Eric Litwiller's now giving me shit for suggesting that he would give me shit about Jerry Seinfeld. I don't know. I just felt like that was not edgy enough comedy for me. But then again, sometimes I make a lot of assumptions about what Meat thinks about me, and I'm wrong. Meat says, Harrison says, I also forgot to mention throughout the whole 1 to 22, I had a 1 album per artist rule. So that's why there's some interesting inclusions and omissions, because he's not duplicating anything that's already in his top 11.
Can't say I'm doing that. But yeah, good on him.
And Meat comments when we get to his list that he did the same thing as Harrison with one exception. Back to Harrison's list. Number 17, Living Loud, debut live concert. This is just Don Airey, Steve Morse, Lee Kerslake, Bob Daisley, and Jimmy Barnes having a hell of a time playing Aussie covers and originals, and it's great. That's cool.
Well, there you go.
And he says the one Benatar song you're missing on this live album is is All Fired Up, released after Live from Earth. Sorry, I'm making like word salads now. I'm almost down. I got to refresh my drink soon. Okay, back to speaking clearly. Number 18, Led Zeppelin, Celebration Day. I'm trying to think now which one Celebration Day is.
That's the one where they did with Bonham's Kid on that kit.
The reunion gig. I liked that. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Purple, Made in Japan, as is number 19. Good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Number 20, AC/DC, AC/DC Live. Number 21, Jimmy Barnes, Barnstorming. That's cool. We don't know a lot about Jimmy Barnes up here in Canada, really.
No. I did see Jimmy Barnes live in Thunder Bay, actually.
Cool.
In his old band, Cold Chisel, opening up for Ted Nugent at the Gardens back in '81.
Cool.
Yeah, so Jimmy Barnes was in T-Bay for less than 24 hours.
Well, that's the way it should be. The way it should be most of the time.
Because the Erickson brothers would have got a hold of him, and then he would have been damaged forever.
Whiskey fights, the live bootleg.
When we're 15. Oh, man, sorry. Back to reality.
Harrison's number 22. Bob Seger, 9 Tonight, which might have been Seger's first appearance. Could be first appearance for Seger.
Nice.
9 Tonight and Seger as well aren't very metal, but I was running out of artists, and this album is pretty good anyway. Cool.
There you go. Yeah, good
Great
stuff.
list, Harrison. Fantastic list. I'm kind of going in a random order here, just the order that they're in front of me, and it so happens that Rob Daniels' list is next on my list here. Rob Daniels is giving me his top 11, like Holland did, and like Harrison wanted to do. So I'm going to read his down from 11 to 1. He's got some really cool stuff here. I really and thanks Rob for putting in a list. This is Rob's. I think this is his second list because he did one for the superhero stream. So this is his first music list. So Rob.
Nice.
Gotta wait till motor guy goes by.
Your audio's still picking up good, Mikey.
Oh, good. I just can't hear with the guy driving the thing.
Gotcha.
Okay. Rob Daniels, starting with number 11. U2, Rattle and Hum, which we have heard from once tonight.
Yep.
Not sure if this qualifies as a live album. Yes, it does. But it has my favorite version of Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Number 10, Rush, Different Stages. Next to Grace Under Pressure and Signals, this is one of my favorite Rush albums.
That's a great pick.
Just blew my mind. Yes. Number 9, first time for this album on this list, Metallica, S&M. The album just hit me at the right time. I was a casual fan of Metallica through the 90s, but when I heard they would be teaming up with composer Michael Kamen, I thought it was amazing. And he's right.
Yeah.
Number 8, Johnny Cash at Folsom. If you remember, I had San Quentin on my list. What list of live albums would be complete without a live album from the Man in Black? A great live album with some classic Cash performances. Absolutely. I might be wrong on this, but it could have the definitive version of Boy Named Sue. Number 7, Tragically Hip, Live Between Us. Having seen The Hip in the 90s at another roadside attraction, I was amazed just how fantastic they are live. This album captures that feeling for me. Thumbs up.
Yep.
Number 6, a surprise. Ministry, in case you didn't feel like showing up. An unusual choice for me, as I'm not generally a Ministry fan. But when this album was released in 1990, it hit me at just the right time. My college years were full of this style of music, and for some reason, this live album speaks to me.
And you know what, Mikey? That's the great thing. It's just where in your life a certain album can hit you,
Yeah.
right? And like,
Yeah.
there you go. He's going as far back as 1990, like 30 years ago, and it's
Yeah.
an album that's still relevant to him, you know. And that's the great thing about these lists, is to hear stories and you hear albums that have impacted one's listening. Like, we're all like that.
Yeah.
All of us. Yeah. So good stuff.
Eric Litwiller is complimenting the list. And he says about that Led Zeppelin Celebration Day, the one where they were tuned way down. Yes, because of Robert's voice, he was tuned way down. And yes, Ryan C. Mitchell, we are doing Nigel Tufnell top 11 live albums. Some of us are doing the top 11, and some of us are moving down to. It's complicated. I'm just going to continue reading. Number 5, Queen, live at Wembley. A lot of people had live killers.
Yeah.
Love the sound mix on this live album. It's fantastic. This also includes some non-Queen songs like Hello, Mary Lou and Gimme Some Lovin'. He is bang on with this pick. Bang on. Number 4, all live, Gordon Lightfoot. I got a chance to see Gordon Lightfoot at the Center in the Square in 2008. So did I, Rob. I was there. Despite being recorded at Massey Hall, this album captures that same feeling. Number 3, this is one I remember Rob liking. Serious Hits, Phil Collins.
Wow.
I remember that. I got a chance to see Collins on tour in 1995, and this album always takes me back to that, despite being released in 1990 for a completely different tour. Number 2, completely out of the ballpark. Hans Zimmer, Wings of a Film. Yes, a live album of soundtrack performances by Hans Zimmer, including cuts from Gladiator, Mission Impossible 2, and The Lion King, among others. Fantastic.
There you go.
I was considering putting John Williams' live E.T. Accompaniment on my list, but it was never released on an album. It was only released as an alternate audio track on the E.T. DVD release, so I didn't. So I'm glad he put live soundtrack music on this list. I am pumped about this.
Live soundtracks and comedy.
Yeah.
So, widespread. Yeah.
Incredible. His number 1 is a pick that I love. I was talking about this band earlier with Meat. Triumph Stages.
Ooh.
Wonderful live album with one of my favorite versions of Rock and Roll Machine. When
Nice.
it spins off into the classical piece Hall of the Mountain King, I'm always hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a great pick. That's like right out of left field. Good one.
Harrison should have put Queen Rocks Montreal on his list, but hey, whatever. They're all great.
You know what? I should
Rob
have too.
Daniels has an honorable mention for Rob Daniels. Kitchener Sings, various artists. This rare live album was the first live recording, 1980, from the newly constructed Center in the Square. While it does not feature any amazing artists that would eventually grace the halls of the Center in the Square, it's an amazing preview of what was to come. Well, that's something cool.
Nice.
Woo! Rob Daniels with a killer list. And I think I only have...
Good stuff, Robert.
Ah, man. Okay, I got 2 more to go. John T. Snow and Uncle Meat.
Let's hear the Snowmans.
I'm going to pause, though, and get another one. And no, there's no sign. There's no sign, Chris Sarr. There's no please stand by sign. All right, we've lost Deke while I took my Pepsi. Oh, he's back.
Yeah. I went off air too.
I got to catch up on some comments here. Eric Litwiller, great list, Daniels. Nice rock and roll track. Nice rock and roll trail mix. Lots of CanCon too. Check out Triumph's US Festival CD. I was just talking about that with him earlier today. Kevin Smister, really Queen's best live album performance is Live Aid, which is on the soundtrack movie. Rob Daniels, thanks for the suggestion. Dar, why don't we? What do we talk about while they're both gone? And Harrison Kopp says that as far as live albums go, track lists generally trump for performances for him. Which I kind of knew about him. He's really he likes certain track lists. We've discussed that with Alice Cooper albums. But without further ado, I'm going to get to John T. Snow with commentary. Number 22, The Wild Feathers, live at the Ryman. Musically, these guys are spot on and sound amazing. The feel of the album was so laid back, and the guys were just jamming and having a great time. Did it sound like the studio albums? Of course not, but it captured the magic of the band and the overall talent of each member. I don't know them. Number 21 is an artist that I know that he really likes a lot, Matt Nathanson, At the Point. From such classics as Church Clothes, Answering Machine, Curve of the Earth, and I Saw, to his cover of Dire Straits' Romeo and Juliet, and Drivin' and Cryin's Straight to Hell, you get lost in his performances as they are delivered so flawlessly and seem so personal. You get laughs as he tells stories that will have you laughing your ass off, and you just get an hour and 7 minutes of pure enjoyment. This is what a live album should be, something you can feel and connect with.
Nice.
Great commentary. I like his number 20, Styx, Caught in the Act Live, which was the one from the Kilroy tour. His number 19, Whitesnake, Live in the Heart of the City. Classic. And we were just saying earlier what a huge Coverdale Whitesnake fan he is. And he just finished off that review series. You got everybody check out Too Loud, Too Old Music. Check out his Whitesnake review series. It is comprehensive.
David Coverdale, if you're watching this, check it out.
Ted Nugent, number 18, Double Live Gonzo, an album we've heard a couple of times tonight. Number 17, a great album I keep forgetting about. The Eagles, Hell Freezes Over, the reunion one. Do you remember that one?
Sure do.
Fantastic. Number 15.
You know, Mikey, first band, Eagles. I remember that year, 94. Me and T-Bone went to see the Stones, and people were freaking that the Stones put the tickets on sale for their shows for $50 back then. And then when the Eagles came out, it was 100. They got the 100, and guess what's happened since?
Yeah. 150, 200, 250.
Yeah, you got it. So the Eagles really doubled what the Stones were doing. That's crazy back then even. So yeah.
But great live album.
True enough.
Number 16, another great live album. Dokken, Beast from the East. Love it.
Yeah, good one.
Wait, am I repeating myself? Number 15, Aerosmith, live bootleg. Nope. Your favorite.
That a boy.
Number 14, UFO, Strangers in the Night.
Great pick.
Number 13, Kiss Alive 2. And number 12, Queen Live Killers. Great list.
Good job.
Thanks.
Good job, Snowman.
He's a great writer, and I'm so glad that he provides lists for me. You know, the amount of content that John Snow produces for his own website, the fact that he has time to sit down and write this. Thank you, John. I'll get caught up in comments here. Harrison, of course, most of those albums I've picked have both great track lists and performances. Rob Daniel says cool to Styx, and I'm not going to read Eric Litwiller's comment because my neighbor is watching.
You know, speaking of John Snow, I have to say, you know, Mikey, you know, a lot of my purchases, are iTunes. And I always thank John. I said, thanks for going that extra mile, posting the pictures, the inside sleeves, the credits and stuff guys that don't necessarily buy everything in physical product can see what's going on. I think that's also very, I know you do it too, but it's also a very good feature. So I
I
appreciate
just
it. Thumbs
noticed.
up to you, man.
Sorry, a power cable was loose. We're good. We're good. Meat Man's List.
Here
Oh,
we
and
go.
Jon Snow, the ultimate multitasker. He's actually writing a post while he's watching us.
Attaboy, John.
That's awesome.
Look forward to it.
Okay, so the Meat Man's List. Seconds Out, Genesis, which he says should have been in his top 11. I bought Seconds Out, and the disc was scratched beyond repair, and I've never heard Seconds Out. Bummer. The Band, Last Waltz at number 13, all-star game of rock history. Number 14, here's one I like a lot too, the Dixie Dregs, Bring 'Em Back Alive.
Nice. My brother loves those guys.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Number 15, Keys to Ascension, parts 1 and 2. Yes. If you remember, I believe those were 90s live albums. Number 16, Slayer, Decade of Aggression, the loudest CD ever recorded audio output wise. I wonder if that's
I would
still
never,
true.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah. It would be very Slayer for them to do that.
Yeah.
Number 17, and a beautiful compliment to all the times that we've seen Worldwide Live on the list tonight.
Nice.
Scorpions, Tokyo Tapes.
Ah, there we go.
Number 18, Uzeb. Am I saying that? Is it Uzeb or Uzeb? I think it's Uzeb. World Tour 90. Number 19, second appearance of Dire Straits' Alchemy. Number 20, the first appearance of the Drive-By Truckers with It's Great to Be Alive. Number 21, I think the first appearance of the Talking Heads was Stop Making Sense. And number 22, the second appearance. Oh no! Not the second appearance. This is the first appearance for this particular release, Marillion, Reel to Reel, which was an EP, I believe. But a double EP. You know what? I'm not going to get everything all confused here. Marillion, Reel to Reel, Eric Litwiller's number 22. It hasn't been on the list before, bottom line. Boom.
Good job, Uncle Meat.
That's all
Good
the
job.
I've been given. Thank you.
All right.
So all we have left now are you and me, and we're going to go in rounds.
Ding, ding. So are we going to go 22 up or 12 down?
I thought we'd go 12 down.
You want to go 12 down?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So my number 12 is the Rolling Stones with Still Life, which is
Nice.
their live album from 1982. And I know the Stones put out a ton of live albums since then and before then, but that album is so good. I mean, that's before the Stones got the backup singers and got the extra keyboard guys and the extra brass guys. It was, the five of them. Obviously Bobby Keys on sax and Ian Stewart on keys. And man, they just rocked. They sound sloppy and everything, but it's just the Stones. And, it's like a short little 36, 37-minute live record. So good. I was so happy to score that on vinyl last year because, man, it's so good. So
Cool.
Good stuff. That's my number 12 there, Mikey.
Awesome. I'm just going to catch up on the comments before I say Litwiller. John T. Snow thanks us for the kind words. Kevin Semister agrees with the dude, the Big Lebowski, when it comes to the Eagles. He hates them. Rob Daniels and Eric Litwiller are thanking each other back and forth for awesome compliments. And Eric Litwiller's thanking you, Mr. Deke.
Hey,
So-
you're welcome, sir.
I think my screen froze. Did my screen freeze? No. What happened?
I don't know.
Oh,
It looks
shit.
like a lawn chair. It's behind you. Something's behind you there, Mikey. There you go.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I went off the beaten track. I maybe cheated a little bit when it comes to my
Okay.
list. I technically included some things that are not live albums, but in my personal life history, they
Mhm.
are live albums. And the first one
Okay.
of that is Kiss, Animalized Live. And I'll
Ooh,
tell you a story about that right now,
sure.
which is back in the summer of '86, I recorded the audio of Kiss Animalized Live, which is a home video. Recorded it off my next door neighbor, and played it on my Walkman right over there. Just sitting in the grass listening to Kiss right over there. I have such a strong history with Kiss Animalized Live. Paul's stage raps are among the best we've ever done. Love Gun is all I will say. So that's my number 12, Kiss Animalized Live, uncensored. Technically not a live album, but in my life, it is a live album.
You know what? Why is that thing? I know it's probably tied up with MTV and stuff, but Kiss and their ample amounts of cash, you can't tell me they did not record another show on that Animalized tour that's sitting somewhere. I mean, they're kind of funny with that 80s non-live stuff. I mean, like Live at the Ritz, that's a great album, and another non-official, but yeah, they're bizarre with the way they kind of do things, like they'll ram other shit down your throat, like the greatest hits after greatest hits. Come on, guys. Gene and Paul, you're watching. Give us something.
What do you think would have happened with Kiss had Dynasty and Unmasked been universally beloved by new fans and old, with no negative feelings about going disco? Do you think Kiss would have been a pop band?
I don't know, but I would tend to think that Kiss Alive 3 would have came a hell of a lot earlier than 1993.
Yeah, because essentially Dynasty, Unmasked, The Elder, 3 albums in a row where they basically didn't use any of that material live going forward.
Yeah. And the record company, and the record company probably said, no, you know what, you're not really selling the record, so don't put out anything live. So, I mean, you read some of the Kiss books written back then by like that C.K. Lent and stuff, like they were, and from Creatures of the Night, they weren't even, what did Paul Stanley say in his book? He couldn't believe it when he tossed out a pick and he could hear it bounce off the arena floor on the Creatures of the Night tour or something to that effect. It's like, ouch. But there you go.
Their egos were very fragile too.
Yeah, not anymore.
No. All right, you're up. Number 13.
My number 13 is The Tragically Hip, live at the Horseshoe Tavern, 1992, which is the included disc in the Fully Completely reissue from a few years back.
Nice. Out of the box.
So, out of the box. And that one is great because I think they recorded that show at the day Fully Completely was released. And basically the full album's played live, and it's just the hip. It's such a great live record. Live Between Us is great too, but that Horseshoe one, it's just, they probably recorded it not intentionally ever going to release it, and of course they did. So great stuff.
Ryan C. Mitchell just pieced out because we're talking too much about Kiss.
See you next time, guy.
Harrison, Still Life recorded at rich stadiums in Buffalo, says Eric Litwiller. Harrison Kopp, for Sloppy Stones, can't beat LA Forum 75. It's awful. And Rob Daniels says, nice Deke. Nice Deke.
Thanks.
My number 13 is one that made it on somebody's list last time. Black Sabbath, live at the Hammersmith Odeon. I chose this over Live Evil. I think it's a great set, but it doesn't have the production issues, the mushy. Live Evil kind of gives me mushy ear mush. And Dar says, "Cut the Crap" by Current River should be on all lists.
Yeah, well, talk to your brother about that one, man. That'll be another whiskey-drenched brawl.
Yeah.
Oh,
and Kevin is commenting that his wife, the awesome Sarka Sim, so anybody who likes gaming, check out Sarka Sim. She has the Hip CD at the Horseshoe, and Kevin wants to check it out.
Crank it up, brother. Crank it.
Yep. I think we're back to you, 14.
Back to me. Number 14 is Iron Maiden, Book of Souls, live. That one I went with because I caught that tour, and then like 4 months later, the live album came out, and to this day, I think the Book of Souls is a strong album. I love the title track. I just love that show. So when Maiden threw down that live album, I was on board. I still think it's a great live album. I mean, Book of Souls. If I probably didn't see that tour, I probably would have had Made in England there or something else. But it's just one of those
Forgot Made in
albums.
England.
Yeah,
Forgot Made in England.
I didn't, but I thought, I'm just going with the show that I have like a tie-in with. Like it was such a good show, and they were playing stuff that they hadn't played in years, like Children of the Damned and Power Slave, and it's so good. So yeah, and I really like that album. So there's my kind of fanboy pick there out of my list.
So funny story. My number 14 is also Iron Maiden, and I think we both picked Live After Death on our first top 11, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
So
my number
obviously,
two.
for our next batch of albums, we had different Maidens to choose from.
Nice.
I went with Live in Rio.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Really fond memories of it, and that was the Brave New World tour. They had a lot of great new songs. Um, he was still playing some Blaze material, I believe. What did he play on that album? Was it Man on
Sign
the
of the
Edge?
Cross. Sign of the
Klansman,
Cross.
maybe? Sign of the Cross, yeah. Anyway, I like the mixture.
Mhm.
And Harrison will agree with you on the Book of Souls. I think it's their best album, says Harrison.
I think it's their best album since the 2000s. Overall, their best album. Seventh Son is up there. I mean, God, I flip flop between Summer in Time, Power Slave, Peace of Mind, Number of the Beast. I'm always
I kind of
this
divide
week.
Maiden into two eras, the reunion and the pre-reunion.
Yeah, true.
I think, personally speaking, and this is just me, my favorite Maiden album from the reunion era is A Matter of Life and Death.
You can send that one to me.
What do you mean?
A Matter of Life and Death. I don't
You don't
think I've
have it?
ever heard it. No, like
Okay.
where did it come out on? Is it a boot?
2006.
I have the
2006.
studio record.
Yeah, studio record. It's the one with Benjamin Brieg.
Oh, I thought you were talking a live album from that tour. I was like, what?
No, sorry. No, sorry. I was talking studio albums.
Sorry, it's like,
No.
You're holding out on me, brother.
For studio albums, A Matter of Life and Death is my favorite.
Yeah, actually,
Since
that's a
you
very
mentioned
good one.
It's one of the few tours from the reunion album that didn't get a live album. It was the
Yeah.
tour where they played the entire album from front
Yeah.
to back, and they never did an official release. And I have the CD bootleg of that.
Nice.
Yeah, but I made rules that even though I included VHS tapes, I said bootlegs are illegal. So shot
Yeah.
myself in the foot there.
Mikey, have you ever seen that YouTube clip of that tour of Dickinson in, I think it was New York, and it has somebody from the stage passes up a sign to him, and it says "Play the hits," and he goes,
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you have that stupid sign in the first place?
"Why do you want to piss off the lead singer?" Like shit.
Piss offable. He is known as
Yeah.
piss offable.
Yeah. So
I think we're on to you for 15.
15 is Rush with All the World's a Stage.
Yes, nice.
So that was my second ever live Rush album after basically getting Moving Pictures, Signals, Exit Stage Left, and then I went and got All the World's a Stage, and man, oh man, that opening of Bastille Day, it just blew my mind because I thought, this is a whole different band 5-6 years ago from when I first heard, I was Exit Stage Left, and the 80s Rush was my entry point. So to hear Rush playing these, at times, like wild out Zeppelin jams, it was like, just blew my mind, but so good. And hey man, it's the Professor on the drum kit. Doesn't get any better than that guy. So man, oh man. So great album.
I'm going to catch up on comments real quick.
Sure.
Eric Litwiller on Maiden Matter of Life and Death. They played it cover to cover, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
John T. Snow didn't include any of his Kiss bootlegs for the same reason: they're not legal. Harrison Kopp, no love for Beast over Hammersmith either. That's a wicked performance too. I
Yeah,
also
that is a
think
good
that
one.
Peace of Mind is a bit overrated. Seventh Son and SIT, what is it?
Somewhere in
SIT,
Time.
Somewhere in Time, are my favorites of the '80s era. And we have Jeff Stephen. Jeff Stephen, play the hit sign, almost as bad as skip to the chorus. Nice to see you tonight, Jeff.
Dude, were you there for when I said the Tragically Hip in at number 13 for Live at the Horseshoe?
I
Hope
think he
you're.
just got here.
Oh, there you go, buddy. I have the hip on the list for you.
Are we at me for 15?
You got her.
I hope that I got one here that you wish you put on. Sloan, 4 Nights at the Palais Royal.
Yeah, great pick, man.
Fantastic live album. I used to play that on the way to the lake. From driveway to driveway, it used to be the exact length of the album. So I loved doing that.
That's a great album. That's a great record. It's just rock and roll, you know.
Yeah.
And that's basically a greatest hits set live up to 1999. I mean, when Sloan was here in town back in October, and me and T-Bone were at it, and I had a little couple of minutes with Chris Murphy. I said, dude, it's like, 2019. It's the 20th anniversary of the live album. Are you gonna do a reissue? Because reissuing Navy Blues and One Chord to Another. And he goes, dude, nobody listens to live albums anymore. I'm like, I do. So, but I tried. But yeah, great record. Great pick. Great pick, Mike.
Thank you. And Dar's giving me a Sloan, and Jeff is saying Sloan.
Nice. So on to number 16.
Yes.
Is an live album I just reviewed a few days ago at my site, and that's Priest Live by Judas Priest.
Featuring, what's his name on drums?
Jonathan Valin.
Jonathan Valin, yeah.
And in my review, I put, Priest has a huge wall of sound with their 6 members, and nobody commented about that. So I don't know if anybody's actually reading my shit or what, but I threw that in there. And I don't think you commented. So,
right
but
over my head.
I also threw in that both drummers were Dave Holland and Jonathan Valin. So, but yeah, that aside, great album. I mean, Halford just going into heading out to the highway, the Priest is back. Yeah, they were, they were firing on all cylinders back then.
I will say, as classic as some of Halford's stage raps are, some of them are really, really lame. Like, breaking the what?
Yeah.
Breaking the what?
Yeah.
And he starts by saying, this is a song that contains the word the law. Breaking the what?
Yeah.
Hang on, I gotta wait till truck guy goes by again. I can't hear. Okay, he's gone.
Yeah, but you know what? It's just a good album. I love the turbo stuff that's on there live. Just has more of a kick in the tempo and more punch. That's the word. And just great stuff. I got to thank my daughter Kylie, who's probably not watching, but she should be. She got me that for Father's Day this year as a gift.
Really nice.
Yeah. So
number 16,
really
I picked this one for Mr. Harrison Kopp. Deep Purple, live at the Olympia '96. For 2 reasons. It's the Perpendicular Tour, which is the tour that I saw them on personally. And also, when they played at the Olympia in France in '96, they had a horn section. So no one came. Ban-at, with big horns. Ban-at. Really cool stuff. Deep Purple live at the Olympia number 16.
I think I'd rather listen to you do the Deep Purple like that than the actual album itself, probably. What a horn player you would have been, man. Fucking Herb Alpert on crack.
I'm not a musician. It's
all good. It's all good. So my 17 is, I think HMO would be pretty proud of this, is Saxon, Eagle Has Landed, which is a live album from 1982. And that was my entry point into Saxon. And my buddy Muck got that on import back in 1982, and I heard it, and it was like, wow, these guys are like so good. I mean, they just look awful looking. Like they had like the bald bass player there, and they just look like United Nations in the band, right? But
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, those songs just so good. I mean, like Motorcycle Man, Princess of the Night, 747. It's all good. I mean, it's super, super cool stuff. Wheels of Steel, Strong Arm Out of the Law. I mean, I never heard those songs until I heard my buddy Muck's version. And then I managed to get it on cassette tape. And then last year, my buddy at work, Diener, was offloading some records, and he had Eagle Has Landed in the pile. And I thought, oh, here it is. Come on over. So, yeah, such a great album. So yeah, that one I had to put in there for sure.
Very cool. My number 17, I'm going to dedicate to the aforementioned Mr. Books, Aaron, from Keeps Me Alive at WordPress. Plugging him just for a moment. Aaron, Mr. Books has been around longer than any of us, and he basically is responsible for this community coming together as it has.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
And Blue Rodeo, Just Like a Vacation,
Nice.
which was their double live. I believe it came out around the same time as Sloan, Four Nights at the Palais Royale, maybe 2000.
Okay.
And it's another great album from the drive up here. It's such a fantastic live album. It was recorded at various venues throughout their tours. It has a great cross section of their hits, some of their jams, and I believe it has a few covers on it as well. So Blue Rodeo, Just Like a Vacation, number 17.
Nice. I know you speak very highly of those guys. They're like good chill out music, eh? They kind
Very
of,
much so.
I know they've had a great run and stuff, but man, I remember years ago when Diamond Mine was a huge hit. Like when that, what was the name of that album? Was it Casino?
Casino's the debut. Diamond
Is that the
Mine's
one
the
that-
second.
Okay, so anyways, I remember me and T-Bone, when that song was out, we were playing tennis, and there was these two dudes next to us, and they had their ghetto blaster playing. Remember, this is the late 1980s, and that's all they played was Diamond Mine over and over again. And I'm sorry, man, I got real sick of that song real quick. It's like, holy shit, is it? I guess, Try would have been too mellow listening to it trying to play tennis, but they just kept playing for an hour, Diamond Mine, just over and over again. Me and Troy were like, are these guys serious? But
Wow.
hey, whatever. That must have been
Wow.
the water, something in the water that day. But
Yeah, for sure.
but my
cool.
number 18 is the recent Def Leppard live show that was included in their early years box set from 1980.
Good one. Pete Willis.
Yeah, and I know Jon Snow had that in his first top 11, and I
did.
totally agreed with him there. It's such a great album. I mean, anybody that's out there that likes Def Leppard, you got to check it out because they're a young band. It's Pete Willis, a whole different animal. I mean, when Phil Collins came in, and you listen to the live album that was included in the vinyl box set, and I think it was included with the Pyromania reissue, the Live at the Forum from '83.
Yeah.
Phil Collins, great show and stuff. But Phil Collins seems to he's shredding on Pete Willis's solos, and it's just like too much overplaying. And I'm like, dude, but just to hear how Leopard sounded with Pete Willis live and Steve Clark and all those songs from the debut, and then the changed lyrics for the song, a couple of songs that ended up on High and Dry. They're so good. Like, such a great live record. And I'm really glad. I can't believe, A, they sat on that thing for 40 years. And B, I'm glad they put it out. So, yeah, that's my number 18, buddy.
Wicked. I'm going to get caught up in some comments here.
Sure.
Live Saxon is the first Deke post that Kevin Semister ever read, sorry.
Nice.
Eric Litwiller heard Alpert and the Tijuana Ass. Okay. And
well, that's your album.
Yeah, I guess so. Eric Litwiller, Diamond Mine is the title track. Yes, it is. John T. Snow says, great show, Deke. Charles Harvey says, good show, dude.
Chuck.
Rob Daniels, there was a live album of the Transformers movie score by composer Vince DiCola. released as Till All Are One. It was released as a BotCon convention exclusive. It would have made my list. Crap, I can't read the rest of his comment. Oh, if it wasn't so freaking rare. That's interesting. I didn't know about that one, Rob. I didn't know there was a Transformers live album. It would have made my list too.
Good job, Robert. When you can school a guy like Ladano who knows everything about everything in regards to soundtracks, so you get
I
the
don't know what
thumbs up.
just happened, but we just jumped from 8 viewers to 18. I have no idea what just happened.
We're pulling them in now, man.
We're pulling him in now. Kiss. Number 18, Kiss MTV Unplugged, the Japanese import with not going blind, sorry, Got to Choose as the bonus track. That is an underrated Kiss album.
It's very good, yes,
And an
very
underrated
good.
Unplugged.
Yeah. I mean, they played the songs and sounded real good. I mean, they, I know I think there's an outtake of them doing some other stuff like Spit and,
I have that. It's on. I have the VHS. It's about 3 hours long.
oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
All of the uncut stuff. They had to play several songs twice because Gene keeps tripping over words. It's hilarious when he trips over the words of his own solo track.
Yeah, wow. Listen to the Live at the Ritz, man. He's a mess on that one.
One of my other favorite things on the full VHS is when Ace Frehley does 2000 Man. He ends it by saying, "Yeah, 2000! You better fucking believe it!" And of course, it's MTV, so they had to retake the song. Anyway, yeah. So Kiss MTV Unplugged 18. Fucking believe it! I don't know what just happened there.
You know what, Mikey? We're getting an audio lag, and you're not talking, but I still hear you.
Do you want to try killing it and then I can restart it?
Sure, you want me to punch out here?
I'm going to punch out too, and I'm going to restart the whole thing because that's the best way to handle it.
Stay tuned, folks.
Okay, restarting the stream. Restarting the stream. Inviting people back to the stream. Restarting the stream. Inviting people back to the stream. Restarting the stream. Inviting people back to the stream. Do you like my song? I hope you do. I made it up now. Frankie Tom's inviting you. Michael Morwood inviting you. Sebastian Xavier Mounier. Mike Kudis, Jonathan T. Kevin Semister. Okay, that's okay. So we are back. Audio lag issues on the last stream were starting to develop. I don't know why. I think it's because when you start to get to an hour in these live streams, I think the file size basically becomes so large. But we got most people back now. I'm just waiting for Deke. Stream has been a lot better than last week, says Kevin Semister. What happened last week was my phone was not connected to the Wi-Fi. It looked like it was, but it wasn't. And I was running on my data that whole time. So that's why last week sucked so bad. And we are just waiting on the arrival of Super Deeks. And then we can continue where we left off, going on to number 19. Best live recording, Mike Ladano, live from the lake, says Rob. Well, thank you, Rob. I really appreciate that. I try. All right, come on, Super Deeks. Where are ya, buddy? Where's Super Deeks? We got Eric Litwiller back. We got Harrison Kopp back. Got Frank Toms, Rob Daniels, Jeff Steven, Kevin Semister. Harrison Kopp with a funny comment regarding the Mike Ladano live album. I've heard there were many overdubs done in the studio for that one. No comment, Harrison Kopp. No comment. Got an ant crawling on my computer. Come on. Come on, Deaky. Where are you, buddy? Let's get this show back on the road. Jeff Steven is watching. Frank Toms is watching. I'm just gonna answer an email. Where are you, Super Deeks? Super Deeks, Super Deeks. Where the heck are you, Super Deeks? I'm almost, Eric Litwiller is watching. Hello, hello, hello. It's asking me if I want to bring Eric Litwiller on camera. I'm waiting for Super Deeks. Where are you, Super Deeks? Come on, Super Deeks. Well, since we're waiting for Super Deeks, I am drinking today's show. It's brought to you by Diet Pepsi due to a soda shortage that we discussed on an earlier pre-stream test stream. Kevin Smister says Deke is having a pee. He might be. We don't know. We don't know. Hey, thanks. Are you heading out?
I just into town for a minute.
All right. Take care.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. So we are just waiting on Deke's return. Yeah, here I'll show you this. This is a little camera that I got. This is what I've been filming my underwater footage on. I think that's Deke. Deke. Anyway, this is what I've been. John. It came with a little plastic waterproof. Anyway, that's what I've been filming my underwater footage on, is that camera there. And Deke is back, although the image is frozen. Image is frozen. Ah. Come on, Deke. Maybe you know what? I'm going to try. I don't know what to do. Again. Try again. Okay, we have Deke back.
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
All right, we're back in business.
You know what, Mikey? I just, my phone's probably going to die shortly. Not my phone, but my daughter's phone. So,
Okay, let's rip through these
We're
last
done.
ones then.
sure. Where are we at again? Sorry. My 19?
You 19.
Okay. Number 19, I have The Who with Who's Last from 1984. That was my entry point into The Who. So, yeah, had to go with The Who. Everybody probably say Live at Leeds, but just where I discovered them, that's kind of where I really like that album. It's a great live album.
Their first farewell, I believe.
Yeah, of what, 12?
My number 19, off the
Okay.
beaten track, Dee Snider, SMF,
Ooh,
which was
wow.
a good album of Dee Snider doing nothing but Twisted Sister songs in a club.
Cool.
20.
Cool stuff. My number 20 is the second appearance of Sloan, 4 nights at the Palais des Royals.
Nice. Nice.
That's why I didn't say anything when you said it. When you
Sweet.
said, oh, you probably missed this one.
Sneaky.
Good stuff.
My
Sneaky
number
deek.
20, Queensryche. My number 20, Queensryche, Live Evolution, which was their double live from 1999 or 2000-ish, around the turn of the
Cool.
millennium. Great
Good
overall
stuff.
set that goes from the debut EP all the way up to Q2K.
Nice. Nice. My number 21 is Steve Earle, Shut Up and Die Like an Aviator.
Recorded in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada.
Recorded in Ladano's backyard. I really like the Steve Earle period from Copperhead Road, The Hard Way, and that live album I bought. And such a great live record. So very good. Like that's when Steve was still looking like a member of Guns N' Roses back then.
Yeah, he really.
So
Lots
yeah,
of
so
bandanas.
great. Yeah, bandanas and Yeah. I mean, he was even wearing GNR shirts, man. So that's probably what made me buy his records at the time. But you know what? He backed up with some quality stuff on that record, and yeah, recorded right in your own backyard. I think I said that in my review.
Yep. Yep.
So that's my number 21.
My 21 was a cheat. Not really a live album, but it is to me. It's a VHS. Spinal
Mhm.
Tap, the Spinal Tap reunion. I wanted Spinal Tap somewhere on these lists.
Nice,
That was
nice.
from the Break Like a Wind album, and they did a mixture of old and new tunes. The Folksmen opened for them, or played outside the venue, one of the two. The Folksmen are Spinal Tap. And
Yeah,
that was one that, if you remember from our ballads list, Eric Litwiller picked Just Begin Again by Spinal Tap, the duet with Cher. For this
Mhm.
live performance, they just had a picture of Cher with like lips moving.
Oh, that's
Because Cher
hilarious.
declined to appear with Spinal Tap. So that's my number
I'm
21.
I remember watching them on Much Music on, was it Canada Day, where they played a bunch of places across Canada when
I
they were
think
plugging
so.
that tour.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
so.
remember watching. Yeah, yeah, that was I was like, man, these guys have come pretty far as a parody act. Like, good on them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I remember of that album. Okay, my number 22 is Teenage Head Endless Party, a
Wow.
live album that I got smack dab right in the middle of the 1980s, and love that record. And I'm so happy to see that it got added to iTunes, because I quickly bought that one. And you know, Teenage Head was my first real experience with Canadian punk and pop, and you know, it was so cool that when Frank Lafredo, Crocs and Rolls, brought
Yeah.
them to town last year, and Dave Rave is singing for them, and he played rhythm guitar with them back in the 80s on Endless Party. So seeing Teenage Head without Frankie, who unfortunately has passed on, to me it was almost seeing like the original Teenage Head. I mean, you had Steve Mahone on bass, you had Gordy Lewis on guitar, Dave Rave singing, and new fella Gene Champagne on drums. So to me, that was it was so good to see those guys. They smashed out like 40 songs in about 90 minutes, and boom. And you know what? 100 people there in Thunder Bay, seen a great show.
Yeah.
And Frank as well was digging it. He was on the side of the stage taking pictures too. So you know, it's just one of those bands, like they're iconic. So yeah, love Teenage Head and love that record. So that's my number 22.
Before I do my number 22, I'm going to get caught up on the comments. Eric Litwiller is blaming Kevin Semister for jinxing your stream because Kevin Semister was saying that you went for a pee break. Jeff Stevens says, nice keeping us in suspense on Sloan. Harrison Pop says, last week, right after I said the stream had improved, it went right down the toilet again. Yes, that's true. Eric Litwiller says that Who's Last was recorded at Maple Leaf Gardens. And he's also commenting on Steve Earle being recorded in Kitchener. And on the Spinal Tap, they played Halifax, Toronto, and Vancouver. He says he had it taped on VHS. Tap into Canada. He also
There we go. Yeah.
Dave Rave was really good to him when they opened for Teenage Head, when Eric Litwiller opened for Teenage Head.
Nice.
The acts. No, it wasn't with
Great
Max,
guys.
with a different. I'm screwing this up, but we're almost
That's
out of
all right.
time because you're almost out of batteries. My number 22 is an album that I just actually kind of just recently rediscovered, but it's one that I really liked in the early 2000s. Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, VH1 Storytellers Live. It's a
Well, there we go.
duo album where they're playing together each other's songs. And
Nice.
It's fantastic. I highly recommend it to any fan of either of those two guys. Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, VH1 Storytellers, my number 22.
Boom. Done.
Yeah.
But yeah, great list and great participation by everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
And so cool to see so many different albums, different genres, comedy records.
Yep.
Everything's on here. Like a ton of fun, man. So it was all good. So we'll see what awaits us for our next time we do a stream.
Yeah.
I think we'll change it up for the next one.
Well, you and
What
I
do you
kind
say?
of have an idea that we've been talking about, but we'll discuss that further.
And T-Bone also sent us a pretty cool idea too that we're going to have to tackle down the road too.
Meat
So
sent me
we
about
got
15
options.
ideas. So
There you
let's
go.
face it. If we're doing live streaming this summer, all summer long, we got plenty of ideas.
Lots of ideas.
All right,
All right, Mikey, it's
you
been
go
a
charge
slice.
your daughter's phone, and yeah, you take care. I'm gonna go make some fillets.
All right, brother. Take care.